Hello everyone, this is Mark V and welcome back to another nice chill little dive on Metal Bringer, where as you can see, I'm using the minigun. The last little dive we saw us reach the third area and probably get smacked in the face, and since then I've just been trying to dive into that area and find out what's down there and unlock parts and apps and things from it. So I've not progressed further than that, but I found that once past the initial hurdle, then it's like each run can do a lot better. So as a result, I have actually got new equipment, new apps, all sorts of stuff, so my power level has again jumped compared to last time. But this one I think I'm going to do a quick dive, like first opportunity to go for the boss, I'll go for it, and just pile in, see how we do without really sidetracking or trying to level up or grind for things, because that's kind of what made the last two videos longer. The fact I was actually doing some grinding to build up my power base before progressing deeper. And the fact is, I don't know what's down there in the fourth area, so, you know, it's possible I might just die almost immediately again, but probably not with how things are. I'll show you what I mean anyway. So, minigun, yes. On the back is actually a bit weapon, so a autonomous weapon system which can help like auto-target stuff. And I've also got general apps installed to boost the performance of various weapon types. Yeah, I know that's very specific, but I'll explain what I mean. But you can also see the progression that's happened a bit as well, like arms repairs way up there. A lot of stuff is actually getting to the point where I can outright disable it or not, but most of this is not active, and that's because I just don't get the levels to do that. So really, this system here is guaranteed things you'll have when you start the run versus what you can actually find in the run. And I wish you could save profiles for this to load up different configurations, but you can't really. But anyway, I will point out a few things in here though. Auto pods. That bit I've got on my back there, and I actually found some appropriate weapons for my actual arms as well. If an enemy is within range, they will automatically disengage and fire. So the little support guns become automatic, which is good because it means they can deploy whenever they can, and it's bad because they tend to overheat themselves and you can't actually manually turn them off. So they just keep going. It's kind of a bit of a strange one. Also, it affects the Armmaster's one on a quad-based arms frame as well, because it can actually deploy them from the back weapon slot, when normally the back weapon slots can't actually do anything. So a bit of extra firepower there if you want to go for it, but you don't want to rely on those for your bullets, not really. They fire from a different origin point compared to you, so it's actually harder to hit stuff that's close to your particular person. Moving on. Deep wounds, which increases damage from critical hits. Layered gumption and grit, increasing damage and damage reduction based on the number of apps installed. I've got a ton of those. Good. Finishing blow. When an enemy is stunned, have a small chance to defeat them in one hit. And I think this is where a lot of my current firepower comes from, because I also have unconscious, has a small chance to stun the enemy every time you deal damage. And remember, as I showed you last time, I'm specialised in rapid fire guns, so lots of hits, lots of chances to stun, lots of chances to instantly kill. But I find that overall my damage output is actually a bit on the lacking side down in the third area, but I'm surviving enough for these to spontaneously blow up the enemy, so I suppose I'm a crit build? I don't know. Tunneling effect, so beam shots can penetrate through solid objects, so walls don't stop them. Unload all shots. This is a missile support. Anything that fires multiple shots, it doesn't need target locks for everything, it will just unload all of them, which is good, especially paired with retargets. When a homing bullet defeats a target, or they don't have a target, they'll automatically search for a new target, so all those missiles I just spat out and guided through unload all shots can retarget themselves onto new enemies. If we find missile weaponry in this, you will see that happening, but I'm not deploying with that. But moving on, just like general bits and bobs, nothing else really to see here apart from First Strike is now active as well. Both the melee and ranged versions are on, which is the first attack from a ranged weapon or melee weapon on a target is an automatic crit, and of course loading defense, per damage, stuff like that. One of disabled though is I think it was 2 for 1. I'm not sure where it is now. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you more about the build because that's it. It's basically a crit build. If I get lucky, I do fun things. But as I said, I do have new parts around as well, so let me know if you want to see any of these actually in use. These are nonsense builds. They're not actually very good at all, to be entirely honest. But I was just looking at the parts, and so you know, I have various things installed. But over here though, I was considering using this one for this particular video, Arms 2, but it kept blowing out its power core, so no. We'll go with Ionian Arms, which is more balanced. Also, it's a quad, and we're going to a new area, so I want to unlock stuff. So same as last time, melee on the left, machine gun or backup on the right. I've been trying to figure out the charged weaponry, so yeah, I've actually got that one maxed out. And then on my left is one of those pod weapons I mentioned. So yeah, you can probably see what's going to be happening with that one. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started because we do have to make progress. And I've just spent 5 minutes plus blathering about my build, so yes. Again, this is going to be more of a speed run. We're not going to try to build up massively as we go. Just doing a bit of harvesting to get some credits built up and get some resources. Because if we're lucky, we can also get some stuff that supports our build, but if that's going to happen, we're going to have to wait and see. For the most part, I'm not really going to try and do that too much, though. Also worth noting, I have one that increases the chance of rare cards being dropped by enemies, so rarer cards are more common. I also have ones that allow for better repairing efficiency and stuff in the shops, and make shops cheaper. I've got that maxed out now, so that is best discount in terms of bit economy when we get deeper in. Though that said, last video you saw level 2, you got a fair number of bits. Level 3, you get tons of it. Also notice, by the way, my left rear weapon slot there does deployed, and it's massively overheating by itself, so yeah. Useful, but not massively so. Well, who am I kidding? It's absolutely massive. Thing is, I got the chest piece, which has one of those mounted. It went from level 3 in bit weaponry to level 20 in a single run. So, when they work, they really do nasty things, but they were overheating nearly the entire time. Yeah, as you can see, level 1 just isn't much of a threat anymore. The main advantage of this area is actually just flat out getting more cards, just so I can get more bonuses and stuff, but the chance to outright defeat stuff is very powerful. Actually, there was a comment related to this. Let's see, comments. Happy if it actually did mention on the first one. Those bots are basically surprisingly acrobatic. How they jump and tumble around. Very unexpected for their simple form. Actually, I found a bit of lore which says these guys aren't actually the basic model. They're the upgraded version that was sent to the surface to, you know, survive hostile environments and stuff. So they're actually really durable and capable. It's just they are very basic to make them cheap to produce. And that's all the buddies are, really. Okay, I think I'm done here. I'm going to move on. Right. Forwards. Okay. There was another one, though, which comments on the... Oh, hello. Make a pretty beehive out of you with my beam cannon. Sure you are, buddy. I think my beam cannon's better than yours, though. Yeah, I think I'm winning. There we go, I win. Aha. Yeah, a couple of comments related to the presentation though. Clint liked it. Like, who put a PS2 in my PC? I wasn't sure what era of games to compare this to, but yeah, PS2 does seem like that kind of era. Complete with the detailed breakdown and stuff, because there were lots of games in the PS2 era that were stats heavy. And I realise, like, raw stats was something that could be done with, and then just have simple graphics. In lots of ways, games were more detailed back then, because it's trying to get as much as you can out of as little processing as possible. I don't know. There are also some very simple games as well. Not gonna lie. Okay, I'm done bullying you guys. Let's go on down. Sure. Because there's also a comment from Mikhail. Apologies if I butchered your name slightly there, but Mikhail Hausgeist. I think German inspiration of that name at the very least, but kind of nice mechanics. Yeah, mechanics is what drew me into this one. But scale are immeasurably horrible. Yeah, scale. Bear in mind, I am recording in native 1080p. Yes, I know this is the era of 4K. My computer can't do that. But 1080p, but the entire resolution, the granularity, all of that is actually deliberately chosen by the game design. So this is all very deliberate in terms of the resolution, how things are designed, all that stuff. Anyway, let's go in here and see who we've got. Oh, basic version of Ganesha. Or Ganesha. I think it's I'm not even sure which way to pronounce that one, honestly. Let's have the bits have their fun. Yeah. Oh. And that is why it's a good idea to actually get gravity resistance equipped as a skill. It's a 4-slot skill, so it's 25% each. It doesn't affect you if you get hit by the balls of those directly, but those are very common on the third area, I've noticed, and I deliberately left that unequipped so you guys could actually see that happening. Anyway. Oh. The bits got it. The bits killed it when I was actually going to switch to a different weapon. Okay. Sure. Oh dear. Yeah, I've actually seen completed forms of some of the bosses now, and the I think Ganesh is how you pronounce the name of that particular Indian deity that this one's based off, where it's element face, 4 arms, very punch happy, gravity control, you know, nasty kind of thing. That one is just like its basic core, and that was it. But I think the deeper we go, the more advanced the versions we tend to fight anyway. Just clear the area around me. In case you haven't realised, I do have auto-target equipped because it is so incredibly useful to have. But you can also see what I was saying about the bits having trouble. Like, they aren't next to me, so they can't specifically target things moving closer to me. So it's better to actually have my own weapon as a support, at a very basic level. Though again, if you want to see me using different loadouts for some runs, let me know. Missiles is very explosive, projectiles go boom, shotguns tend to go all over the place, you know, stuff like that. Though that said, one I wasn't sure if I would go to exclude from saying that was actually the charge weaponry. Because I was trying to figure out what the difference was between the charge weaponry and just basic beam weaponry, and the answer was basically nothing. For a while there, because I was comparing level 1 charge weaponry, which has the weapon and the supporting charged weapon skill as well, to a max level machine gun, so it wasn't a fair comparison. But it's one of the few skills I actually deliberately maxed out through direct tuning. Yeah, the kind that I spend the D-chips on. And I've actually found them very powerful once you actually get them up to speed. The main problem is they're semi-auto. Though having ricochet shot can help with that. It's just that it's not friendliest to having lots of little targets. That's where you want auto-target rapid fire. Just clear out the mobs, kind of thing. but I can totally see railguns being a more focused version. Like if I charge this one up, and then yeah, it doesn't show you much there. Okay, I want to show the charge weapons, darn it. I say nice things about the charge weapon. Let me show it. Never mind. Apparently the bitch weapons are killing everything. Yeah, I'm not doing a very good job showing that. I think having the bit weapons is an active detriment right now. You know what? Let's do something silly. Where's my bit weapon arm? There's my bit weapon arm. Purge it. No, I said purge. There we go. There we go. Okay, right. Probably takes a second to charge. The shot does get bigger though, and this is kind of why I was debating not showing it. Now for some reason the shots aren't appearing. No, actually no, I think what's going on is the shot is so fast you're not really getting to see it anymore, because I also have a bunch of mods installed to chip upgrades installed which boost the shot speed, but sometimes I feel like it's just flat out not firing. You know what? I'm going to say if it continues to prove unreliable, I won't actually show that. No. Just it does release a very large beam bolt when charged up, which does a lot of damage. But it's just not behaving for me right now, I think. Oh. Remember there's no enemies, it works. Okay, sure. But you see, that's compared to a normal beam bolt, and then that's the full size one. And crit for 9999 immediately, yeah. So I think what the charge does is increases its bullet size, increases bullet damage, increases crit chance, increases speed. The entire shot gets a lot more effective, but you've got to wait for that charge ramp up to get the full effect out of it. So very good for single target elimination, as you're seeing here. Which is why Ricochet and target pierce things are very good chips to have supporting it. But it's cannot always be reliable, so again, let me know if you want to see that one, I guess. I'm not super sold on it. Anyway, give me my machine gun, anytime. No entry. Ah! Ah, here we go, second one. No, it's hard, just doing my job. Let's fight it again. I'm so close to getting the achievement of facing one of these guys at level 20, just because I've been killing them so much. Also, as you saw there, an advantage to an auto-launching weapon pods is when you go for one of those little intros to the, what are they, VAS arms? I forget for a moment. Those elite arm pilots, and then you come back and you're surrounded by enemies. The pods have auto-launched and they're automatically defending you. So that can be a good reason to have them, just for that. Yeah, no, hard to swallow, I'm sorry, but you are done. I'm just going to farm up a few more chips and things, and then we'll drop in again. Yes, please. Forward! There's something I've realised, as you can see, my power core is overloading again and again and again. But it's just recharging back up so quickly as well, because I've got some overcharged chips, I've got maxed out recharge and capacity skills. I'll give you 3 guesses about why those skills max themselves out without me investing in it, and the first 2 guesses don't count. Hint. It involves me overloading my mech over and over and over again. This game really does skill progress you based on how you play. The system's detailed enough to let it really do that. to the point where, well, the skills that increase your arms programming seems to require you to spend on it, because I'm not entirely sure how to, quote-unquote, pilot well, or pilot good. So I'm not sure how to level that one naturally. The ones for boosting your raw hit points involve you getting hit a lot. And as you can see, I don't like to let that happen. Okay, that's enough. Right, next target, please. Or should I say victim? Next victim, please. What have we got? We got a Hydra variant. 4 different heads. Okay, sure. Let's go. I think I win. Yay. Yeah, I think this is probably giving you guys a very, very good indication now about the power difference in the last video compared to this one. Because I can just body a boss like that in no time flat. I think I've got all the D chips. I've got like 20,000 D chips. The thing is, if there's new parts in there before, I have no idea what the cost is going to be for them. But also note, by the way, I seem to have picked up some app that is increasing my heating problems. Either my cooling is less efficient, or I've increased the level in an app that is generating extra heat, and so all of my stuff is actually currently in a state of overheat. Not to the point where I'm damaging myself or blocking vital repair functions because of my maxed out resistance to overheat damage, but this entire situation is a bit unstable. Now, the problem with this area is it throws so much at you in one go. As you saw last time, got murdered. Oh, by the way, those beam weapons, I've only come across one, well, technically 2, I guess, of those. And they're only mounted in those lion heads on the chest pieces. I say 2 because I've actually found 2 versions of that, but I've not seen those particular beam weapons anywhere else. There's also a plasma homing weapon that's also only turned up on one of the torso pieces. So I'm hoping to find that somewhere else as well. For reference though, that combat bit focused one, that is actually equivalent to having 2 mounted arm versions on the back, because the arm ones carry 3 bits. That chest piece gets rid of the 2 rear weapon mounts, but it carries 6. So the damage output is the same, honestly. It's just it's a more specialised versus a quad arm, which is more general. I'm sure it'll make sense someday, I swear, just not today. You got a full stack? Yeah, you got a full stack, okay. I'll need that one. Now the thing is, I'm pretty sure I have mined out this area completely in terms of like unknown chip types. Oh, there's a lag spike there, that happens sometimes. Probably because of my system, honestly. I'm fairly sure this area has no new mech parts for me anymore, and no new chip types anymore either. But it is giving me a lot of my more advanced chip types these days. So I'll be finding things and off we go. Though this is also an amazing place to try and gather credits. And yep, there's another beam over there. Nope. That was a cannon explosion. Let me out of the way, thank you. Oh. Those beams. Honestly, I don't like them that much. Mainly because when they hit you, you're staggering and you're being pushed back constantly. It's a pain. I have to wait until the beam is off and then charge in. Though I guess I could try the tenacious chips, which help reduce knockback when you're doing certain things. Probably one for using ranged attack would be a great one to have chosen to bring into this. I didn't think to do that. I see you up there. hope, though, to get my hands on something that increases my targeting range. Because honestly, I've only found one ship that seems to do that. But then again, if my targeting range does go up, the question is going to be, how well will that do, considering the entire game is locked to this kind of perspective scaling for play area? And yeah, you can see what I mean about the whole crit chance into stun, and then stun chance into instant defeat is proving very helpful against these guys, because it's detonating the arm suits very quickly. And that's the only reason I'm surviving as well as I am. Because while I do have defences, my per shot attacks and stuff are still a bit lacking, I find. My shoulder pod is overheating. Somehow I'm not surprised by that. It's also unsurprising that the machine gun in my arm is also overheating. It's almost like I'm using it. One thing I have purposely not brought into this loadout, though, because overall this loadout is kind of geared towards scavenging for new parts and things. That's why it's a 4-slot. It's got my basics of a sword, which I'm not using at all, honestly, now that I think about it, and my machine gun. So I've got 2 spare arm slots on the back to carry stuff. Something that it doesn't really do is, well, it's focused on machine guns, Gatling, but it doesn't have the chip fitted. See, I lost my train of thought there. I was waffling a bit trying to figure out what my train of thought was, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember. So, something I didn't bring in is there is actually one specific modifier chip, which is massively increased cooling performance, but the system that is overheating gets disabled because it only applies to a system that is actively overheating. And the reason I've done that is it would actually keep turning my guns off to let them cool down and then immediately re-engage, immediately re-overheat, and then immediately stop again. And I'd rather have the constant damage output rather than have my weaponry spontaneously shutting down half the time, or however much it is. I don't actually know, because I've never used it, just because it would interrupt my ability to lay down fire, so, you know. Priorities, I suppose. I'd rather have more dagger, even if the gun barrel is melting. Just because of the sheer amounts of nonsense this area has been throwing at me. But as you can probably see from how crackly all my bullets are getting, we're getting some decent gun upgrades starting to kick in. That's the reason why the mech I was considering to try using for this one was the gun bits torso with 2 machine guns. The gun bits are one of the systems that actually pairs off other weapon skills as well. So it takes all my modifiers for beam bullets and then adds to that the skill for hoverpods. So it's a composite system. Kind of like how missiles and cannons both use the solid? Both use the solid weapon upgrades to boost their effects, because they're both massive solid projectiles. That's kind of what they do. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, you can see why I've got my resistances maxed out. The amount of stuff that throws at you at the start out. Oh, there's another beam on there. I will kill you because you are a threat to me. Come here. Okay, good. You're down. Right. Ugh. Now the problem is, and why I go for the machine gun versus the actual blade. Would you like to be going through all of this while trying to see where your mech is and trying to guide it towards the enemy, which is also hidden behind all the nonsense? I would not. It would be really bad to try and do. I mean, I can try it, but, you know. The thing is, the blade just doesn't reach as far as my bullets do. End of the day. So the gain is really the arc. Oh, I saw a beam up there. Looking forward to that. You've got cannons. Come in. Honestly, I don't find cannons that scary, all told. Mainly because the cannons can be intercepted by bullets, by my beam shots, so the more bullets I put out, the safer I get. And that's kind of what I want to be doing. That's just kind of... Come on. You see what I mean about this area, if you can survive it, being a great place to just harvest. Ooh. One moment, please. I apparently just had a massive fatal error. Okay, so good news, bad news. Good news, we didn't lose our progress. Bad news, we lost our mech. Apparently the fatal error was my mech surviving getting hit, and so my mech seems to have blown up. Either that or my mech is somewhere and I don't know where it is. So... I think we're in the same area. I'm just not sure where I am. So let's go ahead and ride you, please. Yeah. These are the night legs, by the way. Very good at charging forward and backwards. Not much side-to-side performance, as you can see. But I'm hoping to find my mech, but I don't think I can. I don't see it around anywhere. So I guess this is how we're doing this run now. I must admit, that's also the first time I've seen the game actually do that, but that's also kind of why I have the minigun as my single primary, just so I've got access to a weapon system. And I've also got access, of course, to the supporting drone, which doesn't seem to be auto-loading in this form, but I can keep it out there for an extra damage source, and it's letting me survive at the very least. Well, my plan to try and get down to the next level is still a go, even if this is not exactly going according to plan. Though another potential run I thought of was like try to go, either try to do it, well, okay, right. Just need a moment to marshal my thoughts there. There is an achievement for going, I think, through the entire game without ever getting out of your mech. There is also one for never getting in a mech, so both must be entirely possible. But my thought was like, do a run with just construction equipment, do a run where the only mech I get is like salvage, and if I have access to a mech I must use it. You know, little things like that, so it's kind of like little challenge run things. Again, let me know if you have any thoughts or interests or stuff like that. Go down. Oh, there's a beam. No. Okay, you're not shooting anymore. I'll come after you now. There we go. Because the beams are a pain to deal with. Well, there's another leg piece there. I could use that if I need to. Ooh. There's a torso piece. It's one of the Zaku inspired ones. Oops. I guess we get to use some other weaponry today. Okay, Zaku... actually, my leg piece is almost dead. Let's switch to the better leg piece. Let's get the Zaku torso. Come on. There we go. Give me that sword, please. So I've got a heavy weapon. Come here. I'm not even sure what that is. Oh, I've got a fist weapon. I've barely touched those. Give me that cannon, please. Thank you. I have a cannon now. Little beams, beams, beams. Go away, please. And yes, those explosions are me. As I said, this is a heavy cannon. The area in these things are impressive. Yes, they are single fire, kind of like the charge weapons are, but the sheer amount of stuff they can hit from that is their trade-off, and they do the trade-off a lot more obviously than the charge weaponry does. I could do with getting rid of that particle beam user though. If that would be okay, please. Okay, I think I've got it. Okay, I think we're safe. Right, what have we got to salvage to try and get our things working better? We have got a charge gun. It is a ranged weapon, I suppose. Oh no, that's another beam. Gotta remember, each entry point has a certain number of spawns it'll try to throw in. Okay, good. Finally got that menace out of the air. I notice my headpiece is badly damaged. I think it's because my overheat is actually so high that I'm struggling to... Oh wait, no, I think it's so high because my actual labour is damaged, as in my core part. Ooh, a machine gun. Yay! That's not right. Enhanced beam shots, yes. Fast bullets, yes. Where's the... Quick reload is active. But this thing is not working properly. I guess we're having some system errors in our labour or something, I don't know. Oh well, at least my stuff is actually repairing though, so there is that. It's just that my core unit was damaged and so the arms suit wasn't actually repairing itself. Right, so we're going to survive. Don't have my original equipment, including a massive downgrade in terms of that. We must have picked up something that's caused the fire rate to just drop off so dramatically. Not sure what. Also notice my energy is struggling too. Ah well. It is what it is. We are doing this, I suppose. Any other equipment around? There is a left. There is a fist over there. That's the other fist. That's a sword. Yeah, so unfortunately when we had the game crash... let me one to make sure it's going okay. Okay, yeah, that's all good. Right. Apparently, unfortunately, when we had the game crash, apparently it wiped out all of the loose mech parts, which included, as it happened, our mech and any parts our mech might have dropped if it got killed. So I don't know what happened there. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen, to be entirely honest. So yeah, that's the exception. Very much not the rule that happens in this game. You're meant to be able to keep your equipment. Okay. Hello. You have missiles and a heavy cannon. I think I'm simply just fine, honestly. Oh, there we go. Now that we've actually moved to a new area, my machine gun's actually suddenly firing properly again. Right. So, no idea what happened there. Ah, well. I guess on the plus side, it means that I don't have the autopods anymore. Which means, well, the autopods aren't taking up a ton of screen real estate by shooting everything. So I have to be... but on the downside, they aren't taking up all the screen estate by shooting at everything, so... I'm having to deal with stuff without them, honestly. Oh, there is a missile pod there. Also, there's some heavy legs there. I'll take those. Actually, those kind of sluggish. The hex legs, they have very even performance. They operate well in all directions, while these guys, I think, are just flat out sturdy. I'll take that back, thank you. There is a new headpiece there, though. I say new, it's actually an unarmoured quad arm. It's not a very good idea to take that. Must be a cannon. Don't want the glaive. Unfortunately, because there's enemy quantities, I want to have the machine gun. No, go away, I don't want to face you. Never mind, I'll engage you when your beam is charging up. Because otherwise, it's not safe to approach them, honestly. Okay, so why am I using the machine gun versus the cannon? Because I've realised I don't have the tenacious skills equipped, and without the tenacious skills, basically as soon as the enemy hits me, I'm getting staggered, and that's actually cancelling the locking cycle for the cannon. So, in order to maintain actual damage output rather than being staggered and just flailing all over the place randomly and not doing anything, I'm having to rely on the machine gun versus that guy. So I do need to actually start using tenacious skills, so this isn't a good time to try and use the cannon, really. Should you guys actually want to see me using a cannon, though, I would be using tenacious skills to ensure that I can actually reliably use it. Unfortunately, yeah, that goes for that mech with the quad cannons there as well. Same kind of issue. There we go. Okay, you are a left. You are Crimson Bullets, please. But I am kind of farming to try and get access to some more parts, since we lost our original mech loadout. Just to see what drops, because defeating them is by no means a guarantee that parts are going to drop off it. It's still very random what actually gets dropped for me. There is a new stylish pink set of quad legs there. There is a shotgun arm. Maybe. There is a more forward geared set of leg boosters there. Though I think that's actually is that a more basic set that? I think that is just flat out a basic leg set. That's something I've realised down here though. These things are using mech parts of all tiers. It's not just higher tier stuff. There's a lot of lower tier stuff mixed in as well. Maybe a missile pod. I don't want to replace the machine gun though. That's my problem. I really don't want to replace the machine gun because that is kind of what's keeping me alive at the moment. And I don't want to replace this torso with the quad arm because that quad arm has got very little armor. And this one is actually a very heavily armored torso piece with a lot of thrusters on it. So there's plenty of reason for me to actually keep this arm piece. I don't know. No. I think if anything, I'm going to replace the cannon with a massive blade weapon. So that's something I've got at least. But yeah, let's do this. Let's go ahead and let's go like this, sure. And speedrunning through the first few zones has actually greatly reduced the amount of time on this run, even with the crash. Oh, hello. It's Vitra. A high tier one, I think, because we're in the 3rd level, and it's got massive cannons. Right, sure, okay. I already missed my gunpowder arm because that would be very good here, but for now we're just going to have to tear into it with our critical hits and stuff. Oops, yeah, critical hits, piercing, lots of targets on these big multi-bosses. Ah, that was actually my first time against the true form of that particular mech. Okay, cool. So, I've been to this level before, I've faced the bosses here several times before, but previous runs, I've said I've been farming up from that third area. I have always self-destructed upon reaching this point. Like, beat the boss, get the credits from the boss, spend any credits I want to spend here in the upgrade circle, because, you know, then I don't have to push any credits through the 50% loss of returning back at the end of a run. And then I self-destructed, so this is going to be my first time going further forward. Is it going to try and punch me in the face just like the last area did? Don't know. Let's see. And yes, cutscene shows that I've not been here before. Surface world ruined because of the magma systems units all over the world. Overuse triggered a planet-wide volcanic winter. Oh. Geothermal overused so much it caused the problem in and of itself. Yeah, that is entirely possible, sadly. It's just, it would take a lot of effort to really reach that point, I think. Humanity has been over-reliant on the magma system, but the truth is, we don't have much of a choice. Yeah. Even now, I'm relying on labour and blood, and even the magma system, but this can't go on. So basically, we think of of magma systems in the real world, right, as a renewable resource, because it's like it's very, very good at what it does, as in, like, you pump some water down into the rock, it heats up, it comes back up. It's called geothermal power. It's viewed as an infinite source or a renewable source. Though technically it's not, because the heat in the water that comes up to spin the turbines as steam is heat that's actually being taken from the core of the planet. So, yeah, geothermal is not actually it is a fully depletable resource. It's just it's very, very, very slow to deplete it unless it's massively overused, which seems to be the case here because of the extent of the magma system that was accessible. In the real world, we don't have that much access in a lot of places, so it's kind of hard to get at. Which is probably why it's not used as much. Anyway, 1,000 years, the terraforming process should be complete. Humans should be able to go to the planet's crust. So surface is, well, already habitable. It should be inhabitable. But the problem is, we don't have any feedback on that yet. We don't have any reports saying if it is or not. And also got to remember that Shiva, we don't know if Shiva's stuck to the original plans, not with my grandfather's personality engrams loaded into it, which have already shown the system to have some kind of refocusing problems, it seems to be. So who knows? There are multiple options presented before you. Make your own decision with your own will. I get to choose? I choose the path of lava, because lava is the one true god. Okay. Okay, this terrain is called Breezy Pastures. What the heck? Why is there a boss here? This is called Breezy Pastures. There is wind here, though it's artificial. There is sunshine, apparently. Oops. What I wasn't expecting, though, was to get smacked in the face by a boss. I was expecting to get smacked in the face by mechs, not a boss. So, is it? Oops. Okay, this is definitely a higher tier version of Ganesh as well. Or Ganeshi. Again, I forget the pronunciation. I am sorry. Does this mean that each area's base could be a boss room? Yep, that is perfect. Ganeshi, it's got 4 arms. Yeah, so that's what that grab ball looks like. Oh, I think I see the King Kong in the background as well. Let's see, are you the King Kong? let's check the terrain. Big open area. And yep, that is a version of the King Kong. And that is, again, the perfect version because it has massive cannons on its back. Okay, I need to actually start dealing with this. Okay. Gotta admit though, this is definitely different. I didn't expect to have 2 bosses thrown at me to start out with, so let's go with that. Let's start stripping some of the parts. Come on. Okay, right, good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes sense there's more of these guys around, but still a bit rude to encounter that. Oh! And they do still give their boss drops in terms of resources. Okay, cool. Right. So down here is boss rush mode, apparently. I guess. Just a swarm of missiles coming after me. Right, because we have another King Kong over there. It is, yep, it's another top tier version. So let's try and gun these things down. Oops. No sign of any new labour parts yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, ow. I think I know where the other boss is, guys. I think it's over this way. There it is. Okay, I think I just shot the pilot out of his head, and that was the main unit, so it died. I've noticed that about the bosses. You can just pick apart all the other systems to make it easier, but you can just outright kill the main part and it goes down. So there's a lore piece here. Okay. All humans will require sleep. Wait for everyone to go over. Wait 1,000 years. What if wait 10,000? Or wait perhaps 100,000? Ultimately, Shiva suggested the permanent preservation of humans in cryosleep. Ah, so this is where the shifting objectives I was wondering about kicked in, it seems. The mind will recover, continue to flourish, humanity will continue to exist and survive in cryosleep. Civilization will be held by Shiva and the Labour. Maybe humanity should only forever live in a dream of prosperity. My daughter-in-law always said that there can be more than one right answer, but there must only be one right answer. Not true. The world doesn't deal in absolutes like that so often. In order to maintain both the human race and the environment, there is only one right answer. I issue Shiva in order to preserve humanity. And there we go. So, humanity being preserved regardless of what humanity thinks of it. So, that's why all the other humans were put into cryosleep and kept there. Though the Labours have been losing motivation in their upkeep of civilization, because they're going, we're building this place over and over and over again, but it's for the masters who will never be here and never see it. So why do they bother? Some Labours have actually been wondering this. I've read in other bits of lore. Yes, that's why everyone's in cryosleep. Yeah, specimens in a jar. We're alive, but we're not living. In fact, technically we're not lying, we're technically ice cubes. But yeah, let's see, anything I want to try and get here? No, no, no. There is a gravity cannon. I've not maxed this one out yet, but as you can see, the problem is without the resistance skills it affects me as well nearby. Though that said, it was crackling, it was energized. I think the gravity cannon gets boosted by the beam bullets upgrades. It makes sense, I guess. It is an energy weapon after all. Oh, you know, let's grab that one for sure. A twin blade. Right, nothing else I want to do here. There is, however, a chip analysis section. I do want to check on my chips and things like that. Let's go. Actually, do you have anything interesting to sell? No, just Flying Shadow. Analyze. I can max out Reflex Charge, which means chance of reflecting incoming shots while charging a weapon. The problem is I'm not really using charge weapons at the moment, but as you can see, there's supporting skills for nearly everything. But I'm just dumping chips into upgrading everything. So yeah, that's part of the reason why my fight characteristics have been shifting. Is because anything I've not maxed out, I actually just leave on specifically so I can get the discs, just so I can actually get that stuff sorted out. I will, however, sell all unwanted, which means anything that's excess. So you see disabled. So I've found 2 of those, but they'll just be flat out sold because they're not doing anything. And that's 20,000. Thing is, if I end the run, those discs will just be sold for what I sell them for there anyway. So might as well just cash them out, you know? And that is a fist. Okay, right. So, next area. Onwards! And we got multiple spider bosses. Uh-oh. Oops.